Thanks for tuning in. You're watching ARIRANG News Break on this Monday, May 9th. Live from Seoul, I'm Han Daeun. We begin in North Korea. A reporter of British Broadcasting Corporation who was in Pyongyang during the 7th Workers' Party Congress has been expelled from the country along with his team. A CNN reporter who first reported the news said on his Twitter feed that BBC correspondent Rupert Wingfield Hayes had been detained and then expelled by North Korea for reporting, quote, deemed disrespectful of leader Kim Jong-un. The BBC said the reporter, a producer, and a cameraman were taken to the airport after 8 hours of questioning over reports he filed that highlighted aspects of life in Pyongyang. The team arrived in North Korea prior to the Congress, accompanying Nobel Prize laureates on a research trip. Now back to what the rare Congress is all about. Pyongyang state-run media reported today, the 4th day of the Congress, that the ruling Workers' Party has adopted a decision in which it reaffirms Kim Jong-un's leadership and calls North Korea a nuclear power. Foreign Ministry correspondent Kwon So-ah with the details.
North Korea's state-run news agency reported Monday that the Workers' Party's Central Committee unanimously adopted the decision on Sunday, the 3rd day of the once-in-a-generation event. Kim Jong-un's complete control over North Korea has been reaffirmed, and the decision includes a plan to keep pursuing the so-called Pyeongjin policy of parallel nuclear and economic development. The Korean Central News Agency also said Pyongyang will, quote, boost its self-defensive nuclear force in quality and quantity. In a speech to the Congress shown on Sunday, Kim Jong-un said North Korea was a responsible nuclear weapon state. He also mentioned denuclearization for the first time, saying Pyongyang won't use its nuclear weapons unless its sovereignty is threatened by other countries with nuclear arms. Nevertheless, South Korea's Unification Ministry reiterated Monday that North Korea must get rid of its nuclear capability.
South Korea and the international community's corresponding stance is that North Korea cannot be accepted as a nuclear weapons state. Until it abandons its nuclear program, we will continue with our strong sanctions and pressure.
Considering Kim's announcement as a clear signal North Korea has no plans to give up its nuclear plan, the United States reacted similarly, once again demanding the regime completely abandon its nuclear ambitions. A spokesman for the U.S. State Department on Sunday urged Pyongyang to stick to the international obligation to denuclearize. He also stressed the UN Security Council's resolution clearly states that North Korea shall end its nuclear program in a complete, verifiable, and irreversible manner. Kwon So-ah, ARIRANG News.
South Korea's defense ministry also responded to North Korea's reference to itself as a nuclear power. Defense ministry spokesperson Moon Sang-yoon says that neither South Korea nor the international community will recognize North Korea as a nuclear state, and added that Seoul will continue to pressure Pyongyang to give up its nuclear weapons program. He also pointed out that the reclusive regime lacks sincerity in its words.
North Korea wants to conduct nuclear and missile tests and at the same time wants to start a military dialogue. There is no sincerity in their offer.
The spokesman added that Seoul is open to dialogue with the North as long as the regime ends its provocations and takes concrete steps to denuclearize. A huge chunk of the corporate bond contracts held by Korea's top 3 shipbuilders is set to expire by next year. The companies have been failing to turn a profit for years, instead staying afloat on constant bailouts, prompting worries that they may be out of time. Lee Min-young has the details.
Concerns are mounting that Korea's shipbuilders might go belly up next year. Financial sources say a significant amount of corporate bonds issued by the industry's top 3 companies, Hyundai Heavy Industries, Daewoo Shipbuilding and Marine Engineering, and Samsung Heavy Industries are due to expire next year. The total amount stands at around $1.9 billion. Daewoo has to pay back roughly $900 million, while each Samsung and Hyundai Heavy need to return $510 million and $580 million. Market watchers say it won't be an easy task as the companies have been suffering eye-watering losses due to low oil prices and slowing global demand. The companies won a mere 5 contracts in the first 4 months of the year, while Daewoo posted an operating loss in the first quarter. With fears growing the shipbuilders could file for bankruptcy, some experts say it's time for the state to bail them out.
The Bank of Korea could issue more currency and the government could inject money from its budget. A separate fund could also be set up so that the losses caused by corporate restructuring could be shared, instead of watching one company collapse.
However, critics argue that by printing more money to help the ailing shipbuilders, the central bank would negatively impact the livelihoods of ordinary people to save companies that have been dragging on Korea's corporate landscape for years. Lee Min-young, ARIRANG News.
And that does it for now. Stick around for more news coming up at 6 p.m. Korea time. From all of us here at ARIRANG, thank you for watching.